Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Students of class 9 and 10, Assalamu alaikum. This is Mehrunisa, one of your English teachers. I hope you all are fine and you are going on with your studies through ClassTune. Students, I hope you watched my previous classes, and in my previous class I told you that my next class would be on phrase and clause. So our today's topic is phrase and clause. First of all, phrase. I think it's a new word for you, new thing for you. Then what is phrase? Let's go through the definition that I have given here. A phrase is a group of words that stand together as one unit. It is usually used as a part of a sentence. It doesn't consist of a subject and a verb. Look, there are some information about phrase. What is phrase? It's a group of words that stand together as one unit. So uh, it works as one unit, a group of words that works as one unit, and it is a part of sentence, and it doesn't have any subject and any verb. Look at the example. She was sleeping in her bed. Look at the green part, in her bed. So this is a group of words, and it is working as one unit, as it express one meaning single, in her bed, tar bichanay. So it is working as one unit, and it is the part of the sentence, and it doesn't have any subject and verb. That's why we can call it a phrase. Next one, without knowing the truth, he blamed me. Without knowing the truth, he blamed me. So here, look at the green part. It fulfills all the features of a phrase. Without knowing the truth, a group of words, it works as one unit, is a part of sentence, it doesn't have any subject and verb, so it's a phrase. Another example, mother was cooking in the kitchen to entertain the guests. So look at the green part, in the kitchen. It also fulfills the features of a phrase. And look at the red part, to entertain the guest. So it is also a phrase. So there are two phrases in the sentence. So in the kitchen is one unit, and to entertain the guest is another unit, as they are conveying different senses. In the kitchen means কিচেনে, রান্নাঘরে, to entertain the guest, গেস্টদেরকে আপ্যায়ন করার জন্য. So there are two units, that means two phrases here. And the yellow part is the clause. Now girls, you can see the features of the phrase at a glance. Group of words, it's a group of words, stands as one unit, a part of sentence, and the most important feature is it doesn't have any subject and verb. Now clause. What is a clause? A clause is a group of words containing a subject and finite verb. It is used as a part of sentence but stands as one unit. So it has some similarities to the phrase. A group of words, a phrase was also a group of words, and it is used as a part of sentence, and it stands as one unit. But one unit, and the thing in which they differ is a clause is a subject and finite verb, but a phrase doesn't have any subject, any verb. Look at the example here. I started the work without any delay. I started the work. Here I started the work is the clause, as it has a subject and verb. It is the part of the sentence, and it works as one unit, and it is group of words, so it is a clause. Let's see the features of clause at a glance. It's a group of words, stands as one unit, a part of sentence, and consisting of verb and subject and verb. So a clause must have a subject and a verb. I have given more examples of clause here. Since it was raining, we did not go out. Look at the sentence. The sentence has two clauses. It was raining. It was raining. It is the subject. Was raining is the verb. We did not go out. We is the subject and did not go is the verb here. So a sentence may have more than one clause. Next, we got the news and rushed to the spot. We got the news is one clause, and here after and the subject we is hidden here, as both the subject of both the clauses are same. That's why we need not mention the subject again, but here we is hidden. We got the news, we rushed to the spot. Okay, so there are two clauses as both the parts have subject and verb. Next, at the age of 25 I came here. So here look at the white part. It's a group of words, it's the part of the sentence, but it doesn't have any subject and any verb. That's why it's a phrase. And I came here, this part has subject and verb. That's why it's a clause. Though he was poor, he was honest. The he was poor is subject and verb. You find subject and verb here. And he was honest, it has also subject and verb. So there are two clauses. Now identify phrase and clause from the sentences. As phrase and clause are very close to each other, I think, having only one difference. So you may get confused then identifying clause and phrase. That's why I try a little to help you. She was sleeping in her bed. So the white part has subject and verb. That's why white part is clause. In her bed, it doesn't have any subject and verb. That's why it's a phrase. Second one, I know the man holding umbrella. White part is obviously clause as it has subject and verb. Holding umbrella, it doesn't have any subject and verb. That's why it's a phrase. Number 3, at the age of 5 I came here. Yellow part is a phrase as it doesn't have any subject and verb. I came here, it's a clause because it contains subject and verb. Number 4, I gave her money knowing her truth. I gave her money knowing her truth. So white part is clause and yellow part is phrase. I hope you understand. Students, as both sentence and clause have subject and verb, you might be confused with this question that what is the difference? What is the difference between sentence and clause? Both have subject, both have verb. So what is the difference? Yes, they have differences between them. Let's learn them. A clause consists of only one subject and one verb. A clause means one single verb, one single subject and one single verb. Okay. On the other hand, a sentence may have more than one subject and one verb. So the range of sentence is wider. A clause can be a part of sentence, but a sentence is always sentence. A clause is a part, but a sentence is not a part of a clause. It's a sentence. In spite of having subject and verb, a clause may not be a complete thought and so need to be joined with other phrases and clauses. On the other hand, a sentence is complete thought formed with clauses and phrases. So though a clause has subject and clause has verb, sometimes it is not complete, then it needs the help of other clause, but it doesn't happen to sentence. A sentence is always complete. Look at the examples. She is sleeping. So this obviously this is a sentence, and as it has only one subject and only one verb, you can call it a clause also. But look at the second sentence. She is sleeping in her bed. The yellow part is clause and the green part is phrase, and both the clause and phrase make the sentence. So here she is sleeping is clause, in her bed phrase, but sentence is she is sleeping her bed. So the range of sentence is wider. Next one, as Jerry was only 4, he couldn't remember anything. So there are two clauses. Jerry was only 4. Jerry is the subject, was is verb. He couldn't remember anything. The next, there is a clause, another clause, he couldn't remember anything. And so Jerry was only 4 is this clause, he couldn't remember anything, it's another clause, but both the clause join together to make one single sentence. So as Jerry was only 4, he couldn't remember anything is the full sentence. Okay, and these and the clauses inside the sentence are the part of the sentence. I think it's clear to you now. Now let's learn about the kinds of clause. There are mainly two kinds of clause: independent or principal clause. Number 2, dependent or subordinate clause. That means the clause that is independent. Independent means that doesn't depend on others. So the clause that doesn't depend on others is called principal clause or independent clause, and the clause that depends on other clause is called dependent clause or subordinate clause. Let's learn more about them. So first of all, independent or principal clause. So principal clause can stand of its own. It is not dependent, as I told you. And dependent clause, a subordinate clause, cannot stand on its own. It depends on the principal clause. Subordinate clause is associated with conjunction like since, as, though, when, where, who, etc. So dependent clause has to depend on principal clause, but a principal clause doesn't depend on any other clause. It is sufficient itself to express a thought or a meaning. Okay, here I have given some examples so that you can easily understand the difference between these two clauses. As they were poor, they couldn't buy any gift. As they were poor, they couldn't buy any gift. Look at the yellow part. If I say only the yellow part, as they were poor, is it a complete thought? No. Let me say it in Bangla. যেহেতু তারা গরিব ছিল. So it's not a complete thought. But if I say they couldn't buy any gift, if I separate the white part, then it itself has a meaning. They couldn't buy any gift. তারা কোনো gift কিনতে পারলো না. So it itself a complete sentence. So the white part is not dependent, but the yellow part is dependent on white part. That's why yellow part is subordinate clause and the white part is principal clause. Look at the second sentence. This is the place where I was born. So white part is principal clause and yellow part is subordinate clause, because if you separate this is the place, this part, so it itself can express a meaning. But if you say where I was born, যেখানে আমি জন্মগ্রহণ করেছিলাম, so it's not complete. It is not a complete sense or thought. So it needs the help of the white part, that is the principal clause. That's why where I was born is subordinate clause. Next one, he is very truthful and everybody respects him. So both the parts are white That's why I mean so that I marked it white so that you can easily understand. He is very truthful. He is very truthful. So if I say only he is very truthful, so it is a sentence itself. Everybody respects him. It is also complete. So both the clauses are principal clause. That means you see that a sentence may have subordinate clause or principal clause together, and a sentence may have principal. All the clauses may be principal clauses, but a sentence cannot be formed only by subordinate clause. This is very important to know. Okay. Now, students, you may have question in your mind why we should learn phrase and clause. Is it in our syllabus? So is it important to learn it? Why should we learn this? Okay, let me make it clear to you. Phrase and clause are the structure of sentence. By this time you must know that, and you must see that inside the sentence there are phrase and clause. That means a sentence is formed, a sentence is built by phrase and clause. So if you do not know about clause and phrase, can you learn, can you identify, or can you know a sentence? No, you cannot. That means a sentence is constructed with phrase and clause. Without knowing them, we fail to understand the sentence structure. That is very important to know sentence structure. That's why we must learn about phrase and clause. Now, I will focus on the kinds of sentences according to structure. So a sentence may be structured in many ways, and how a sentence is structured, um, uh, based on this there are three kinds of sentences according to structure. According to structure, sentences are of three kinds. Number of simple sentence, number two complex, and number three compound sentence. First of all, simple sentence. One independent clause. That means the sentence that is formed with one independent clause. Only with formed with only one independent clause, it may that is called simple sentence. And it may have phrase with the clause, but there should be only one clause, and this clause will be independent clause, because a sentence cannot be formed with only subordinate clause. শুধুমাত্র একটা subordinate clause দিয়ে a sentence cannot be formed. I think I am clear. Example, he was swimming in the pond. He was swimming in the pond. So he was swimming, it is the principal clause. In the pond is phrase, so there is only one independent clause. That's why it is a simple sentence. Water is life, only one clause, no phrase, simple sentence. Okay. She took the decision without knowing the truth. She took the decision, this is the principal clause, and without knowing the truth is phrase, but there is only one clause, that is principal clause or independent clause. That's why it's a simple sentence. Okay. So a simple sentence has only one clause and it is independent. Okay. And it may have phrase with it, but the clause is independent and there is only one clause. It is simple sentence. Okay. Next, complex sentence. Independent plus dependent. That means in complex sentence you will find independent and dependent, both the clauses. Okay. That means as complex sentence is formed with dependent and independent both clauses. A complex sentence has one independent clause and one or more dependent clauses connected with conjunctions. That means complex sentence is formed with more than one clause. Okay, more than one clause, and one clause must be independent, and it has another clause, or it has more than one dependent clauses. Okay, and these dependent and independent clauses are connected with conjunctions or connectors. We will learn about connectors later on. Example: when she was sleeping, the bell rang. Look, when she was sleeping. When she was sleeping is the subordinate clause, because if I say যখন সে ঘুমাচ্ছিল, so it's not complete in meaning. The bell rang. The bell rang is the principal clause, because if I say the bell rang, ঘন্টা বেজেছিল, so it's a complete sense. That's why one yellow part is subordinate clause and the green part is principal clause, and both the clause make complex sentence. Number 2, you should work hard if you want to achieve anything in life. You should work hard. This is the principal clause. And if you want to achieve anything in life, life e jodi কোনো কিছু অ্যাচিভ করতে চাও, so যদি লাইফে কিছু অ্যাচিভ করতে চাও, so কি, it's a subordinate clause, because if I say like this, if you want to achieve anything in life, so it's not complete, তাই না? শুধু এতটুকু বললে কিন্তু we cannot have a complete sense. It is complete with the yellow part. You should work hard if you achieve anything in life. Girls, look, so there is no rule that a complex sentence should start with principal clause or subordinate clause. There is no rule. A complex sentence can start with a principal clause or subordinate clause. There is no rule. In sentence 2, I can say, if you want to achieve anything in life, you should work hard. It can be said like this also. Okay. Next, though he was poor, he was honest. Though he was poor, he was honest. So he was honest. The green part is principal, and though means jodio she gorib chilo. So this is incomplete in meaning. I mean, if I say jodio she gorib chilo, so it's not complete until I say he was honest. যতক্ষণ বলবো না he is honest, ততক্ষণ পর্যন্ত though he is poor, it will be incomplete. So look at the definition of this complex sentence. I said the dependent clauses connected with the conjunctions. So first sentence, when is the conjunction? When. So subordinate clause এ এরকম conjunction অ্যাড থাকে এবং এগুলোর কারণে ক্লজগুলো সাবঅর্ডিনেট হয়। ওকে, ইফ আই সে she was sleeping and the bell rang, তাহলে she was sleeping would be কি, principal clause, but I wrote when she was sleeping. So a when, by adding when, I made it subordinate clause. সেজন্য বলা হয় যে সাবঅর্ডিনেট ক্লজে এরকম কনজাংশন অ্যাড থাকে। দেখো, you should work hard if, এখানে এই যে if is the its second sentence, if is the conjunction that made the clause subordinate. if you, যদি তুমি কিছু অ্যাচিভ করতে চাও, if this conjunction made the clause subordinate. And in the third sentence, though is conjunction that made the clause he was poor a subordinate clause. though use করে কিন্তু কি হয়েছে, এই he was poor টা subordinate হয়েছে। Okay, so the use of these connectors or use of this conjunction is very important in the structure of sentence. We have to identify these conjunctions to understand the structure of sentences. And the last sentence is compound sentence. Independent plus independent. That means a compound sentence is formed with independent clauses. It may have more than 2 independent clauses. A compound sentence has 2 or more than 2 independent or principal clauses connected with conjunctions. So as the sentence has more than one clauses, so we need to connect the clauses with the use of conjunctions. So here we also have to use conjunctions. He was poor but happy. So you may say the teacher, he is poor is clause. We understand this, but happy. How happy can be a clause? Look here, as uh, subject is one same and verb is also same. He was poor. He was happy. Okay, here happy means he was happy, as the subject and verb of both the clauses are same. That's why it is not necessary to mention the subject and verb again, but here the subject after but, after the conjunction but, here he, subject and verb are hidden here. Okay, so the clause, actually the main clause is he is happy, he was happy. Okay, I think you understand. Next, the old man killed the bird and they punished him for that. Look, there are two clauses and both the clauses are principal clause. The old man killed the bird. It's it itself a complete meaning, and they punished him for that. It is also itself a complete thought or sense. So, and they are not dependent on one another. That's why it is a compound sentence, and these two clauses are joined by using and. Next, the next and last sentence. Read attentively or you will fail in the exam. So here, read attentively. It is principal clause and imperative sentence. Or you will fail in the exam. After or, the clause is also principal clause, as it is not dependent on any other clause. So we can see that both the principal clauses are joined together by using or. That means in compound sentence, all the clauses are principal clause. Now, girls, I hope you can identify what is phrase, what is clause, and what is simple sentence, what is complex sentence or compound sentence. And this will help us when we will go to change sentence. My next class will be on changing sentence according to structure, and I hope I will come very soon with another class. Till then, Allah Hafiz. And I would like to thank you so much for being with me. I hope you will understand and like my class. Thank you.